Good evening to everyone. We're going to start today's session. So yesterday's session, we were looking at how to create open ODS views, composite providers, and how to expose info objects. So once we create the info objects, how to get those info objects to native HANA. So in today's session, the first thing we'll start with the advanced DSO. So what is the use of advanced DSO? And today we start the session. So hope all the participants able to hear me. All the participants able to hear me? Thank you. Thank you so much. So let us log into system. Let us log into HANA Studio. So I log into the main car system. Let me log into the main car. So let us log into the BW plugin at the HANA Studio. So what am I going to discuss today? We'll see what is the use of advanced DSO and what scenario should we create in the real use cases. So let us click on the plus icon, select BW modeling and click OK. Expand system. Username is best and the password is W capital welcome123. So now we log into BW4HANA. Let us expand BW repository. So yesterday we created an info area, BW4HANA June 24. So let us right click on this info area and click on new and click on data store object advanced. So what is the use of advanced DSO? Let me explain. So the difference between an open ODS view difference between an open ODS view and an advanced DSO. So ODS, DSO, both are same. Operational data store or data store object. So these are nothing but advanced DSO, data store objects. So ODS means operational data store and DSO means data store objects. Now what is the difference between this and this? For example, let us take a data source. Now let us assume this data source you're getting from ECC. Now what is the difference between a physical table and a virtual table? Virtual tables access data on the fly, whereas physical tables store data in memory. So advanced DSOs are similar to physical tables, and OpenODS views are similar to virtual tables. OpenODS views access data on demand, whereas an advanced DSO can physically store data. An advanced DSO stores data physically in the object, whereas an OpenODS view access data on the fly. So that is here it persists data, and here data is accessed on the fly. Advanced DSO support master data, transaction data. OpenODS view support master data, transaction data. So these objects store data physically, and these objects access data in runtime. So is the concept clear? So the use of advanced DSO and OpenODS views. Okay, so now we know how to create an OpenODS view, so let us focus on creating an advanced DSO. Now when creating an advanced DSO, you have different templates. Like you have standard DSO. There are different types here. Standard DSO. And then you have another kind of DSO called write optimized DSO. Write optimized DSO. And then you have another type called InfoCube. It's called as InfoCube. So these are different type of objects, different types of DSOs that we can create in an advanced DSO. So what is the use of each type? So what is the type? What is an advanced DSO? So what is the difference between write optimized DSO and standard DSO? Write optimized DSOs are used to write faster. Data writes faster into these DSOs. They're optimized for writing of data. For example, whenever you would like to load faster, you would like to load data faster into the BW system or BW4HANA. You can write data into write DSOs, write optimized DSOs. What is the difference between a write optimized DSO and standard DSO? Within the standard DSO, within this DSO, you have multiple tables. So from one table, you need to load data to another table. Suppose say you have data over here. So from here, you need to load data to another table. So from one table, you need to load data to another table. So this is standard DSO. Whereas in a write optimized DSO, you'll have only one table. Now this table is an incoming table to receive data. So from an incoming table to receive data, you need to load to a next level of data that is to be received. Now on this table, you try to access. So access will be done on this table. Now this table is known as active data table, and this table is known as activation queue table. So this is an activation queue table, and this is an active data table. Whereas the write optimized DSO will only have one table called as active data table. InfoCube is a multi-dimensional view. It's a multi-dimensional object. It's a multi-dimensional object. So when do you go for each object? Now this DSO is optimized for reads. Whenever you'd like to read data, you can go for a standard DSO. You want to store changes that are done to the previous. You can see log of changes. A standard DSO contains the log of changes. Any changes done to the data, it will have a log for it. A write optimized DSO is basically to write data faster into the system. InfoCube is a multi-dimensional object. So in an advanced DSO, there are different types. So let us see. Let's go back. So here what we need to do is, let us go back. Let's go to MSDSC. Just let me show you. So all the participants understand what is the use of each DSO. The DSO is nothing but a data store object. What is a data store object? It is basically used to write data or to read data. Now, if you want to write data faster, you go for write optimized DSO. If you want to read data faster, you go for standard DSO. You want to analyze data on a multi-dimensional fashion, you go for InfoCube. So there are different types within an advanced DSO. Write optimized to write data efficiently. For read optimization, you go for standard DSO. And also to store log of changes, you use standard DSO. And then for a multi-dimensional analysis, you go for InfoCube. So all the participants feel comfortable until here? What is the use of each DSO? So InfoCube is nothing but it is similar to an analytic view. InfoCubes are multi-dimensional objects. They are multi-dimensional objects. Okay, not able to follow? Okay, let me try again. Let me try again. So basically, for example, now we discuss about a column table. You remember we discussed about a column table. Now, you know, column tables are broken down into two parts. One part of the table is optimized for writes. Another part of a column table is optimized for reads. So generally, a single table cannot be optimized for writing of data and reads of data. You cannot make a table to optimize for writes and optimize for reads. In order to make write optimization, we use normalization technique. We use normalization. In order to make it a read optimization, we create tables in a denormalized fashion. So denormalized tables are optimized for reads of data, and normalized tables are optimized for writing of data. Now in SAP HANA, in a column table, it can do both. You can write data efficiently and you can read data efficiently because a table in SAP HANA is broken down into two parts. One is to write data efficiently, the other one is to read data. In the same way, even in a DSO, in a data store object, one DSO is optimized for writes, another DSO is optimized for reads. A DSO which is optimized for reads is a standard DSO. A DSO which is optimized for writes, writing data efficiently. You can use write optimization. In the name itself it says write optimization, means it is ready to receive data very efficiently. So here, now these DSOs to load data faster. Why we need to load data faster? So in order to load data faster, we use write outpaced DSOs. Now only when you load data faster, it can go to the next layer. Only it can go to the next layer. So here you can create structures based on the requirement. For writing, you can use write optimized. For reading, you can use read optimized. An info cube is a multi-dimensional object, just like analytic view, based on star schema. Info cubes are based on star schema. In the center having the fact table surrounded by dimension tables. Is this okay? All the participants. So just like a column table can divide into two parts, one for read optimization, write optimization, just like in every software you have you have normalized tables and denormalization. Normalization is generally used for write and denormalize is used for reads. So I'll just try to do hands-on on this. So let us create an advanced DSO. So let's go back. So the main purpose of an advanced DSO is to persist data. We can physically load data into this. We can physically load data into this advanced DSO. Okay. So let us go back. Let us right click on the info area. Click on remote desktop connection. Let us right click on the info area. Click new. Click on advanced data store object. Let us give the name. Let's give it as JetDSO underscore. I'm creating a write outmatch DSO. So I'm creating based on a data source. So yesterday we remember we created a data source. So let's click on source system. So here these are the sources for, you can take them as templates. We can use all these objects as templates. So we can use data sources. Now here you can use a data source. You can take it as a template, or you can take info provider as a template, or we can choose to go for an info source. So data sources provide data from source system. Info providers, OpenODS view is an info provider. Composite provider is an info provider. A provider that provides information. A provider that provides information is an info provider. To whom it provides the information? To business users. Info source is an object that can connect to multiple targets. So info source is basically, it's a semantic layer. It's a semantic layer to consolidate and to connect to different target objects. So these are the different templates. So you can take them as templates. You can use these objects as a template. Means you can take a data source as a template to create an advanced DSO. You can copy the structure. We can take info provider to copy the structure. So let us go back and let us take one data source as my template. So let us click on browse. Let's select the source system. Source system is ODP and click OK. Select the data source, click browse. So let us select any data source. So let me select a data source called ZVBAKJ19. You can select any data source and click OK. And click finish. So once we click finish, I'm taking this as a template. So here you can see these objects over here. All these objects are copied here. Now here you can see the properties here. Even an advanced data store object can be exposed as an external SAP HANA view. So you can create an advanced data store object as an external SAP HANA view. We can expose this as an external SAP HANA view. Now here, now these are the types you have here. Standard data store object, right optimized data store object, and InfoCube. So these are the different types here. Now if you want to apply a template, for example, let us select right optimized, apply template. Click on apply template. Now once you click on apply template, now we are creating a right optimized DSO. Right optimized DSOs are optimized to write data into the system. Click on the details pane. Once we click on the details pane, here we can see key fields and non-key fields. What is the difference between a key field and a non-key field? Key field means it's a key of the table. They are the keys of the table. A non-key field are not the keys of the table. They are not the keys of the table. So a key field is nothing but the primary key of the table. A non-key field means They are not the keys of the table. So here I have different columns. I have so many columns over here. So I'll select only required columns. Let me select only the columns that I require. Other columns I'll just delete. What are the columns I don't require, I'll just delete them. I would require NETWR. So I would delete from here. I'll keep sales organization in the non-key field. I'll just drag and drop into non-key field. I would only make sales document VBLN as my key. So whatever I don't require, I'll just delete them. So here we have sales organization, SD document category, distribution channel, division, sales group, sale office, business area. So these are the columns I require. Click on check BW object and click on activate. Now we activated the structure. So how did we get this structure here? We got this structure from a data source. We got this structure, or we got the template for an advanced DSO by populating the columns from a data source. So once you populate from a data source, I validate activate. Now here you can see the advanced DSO. Now please see on the top you have OpenODS view. OpenODS view symbol is this. Now this is the symbol for an OpenODS view, and this one is for advanced DSO. So this is for advanced DSO and this is for OpenODS view. So let us go back. Let us right click on this. Let us right click on the data store object. So what I'm trying to do, now here I have a target. I created the target, which is an advanced DSO. Now we need to populate data into this. So what I'm trying to do is, let me explain. So now you have this object as a target. We have this object as a target. Now what is the next requirement? I require a data source. What is the data source? ZVBAK underscore J19. Now using this data source, now which a data source will populate data to this advanced DSO. Now where is this data source coming from? From ECC system. Now in order to link this object, in order to link the target object and the source object, in order to link the target and source, and this is the source, what I require a transformation. We require So in order to link the source and target, we require a transformation. Now what is transformation? Transformation is nothing but linking the source object to the target object. So we need to physically link these columns of the source with the columns of the target. In order to link the columns of the source, for example, here you may have VBELN. Here you have VBELN. Now we need to link both these columns. Where we have to link? In transformation. So transformation is an object where you link the source and target. So once you link, the flow is ready. The flow from source and target is ready. What we need to do? Next thing is, data is on ECC. And data is on ECC table. Now in order to get data from ECC to data store object, we need to create something called something called DTP, data transfer process. A data transfer process is an object. It is to transfer data from ECC to advanced data store object. So transformation is an object that links the source and target. Transformation is an object that is going to link source and target. A linking of source and target is done using transformation. Means we are mapping the metadata. We are only mapping the metadata. Like you remember in a data services, we use query transform. How a query transform can interlink source and target. Here we use transformations. And how we have a job server. So what is the purpose of job? A job is used to transfer data. The same way, this is nothing but a job. DTP, process to transfer data. So now we completed the step number 1. To create an advanced DSO. The step number 2. We have the data source ready. Step number 3. Create transformations. Step number 4. Create DTP and execute the DTP. And step number 5. Check data in the user interface. Step number 5 is to execute, and step number 6 is to check data in the user interface. So all the participants okay until here? Hope all the participants okay here. So DTP is nothing but, DTP is to transfer data. And transformation is basically to map data. In order to do mapping. Mapping is done in transformation, and it is just the mapping of container. Container mapping is transformation, and content transfer is using DTP. So let me repeat once again. So here, a data source is a source of data. It's basically source. And target is data store object. So based on the source, I created my target. I taken the source as a template and create this object as a target. Now we need to interlink both of them, because if you don't have this, how can I interlink? You see, if I don't have, how can both of these objects can communicate to each other? So this is just like a bridge. You're taking just as a bridge. To bridge both these objects, you use transformation to connect both these objects. So once you connect both these objects, now both the objects are connected using this bridge. Now, in order to transfer data into this table, because an open ODS view, when you do a query, it will directly go to the source and access data. But this is not a virtual table. Open ODS views are virtual tables. They can go to source on demand. But data store objects are not virtual tables. They're just like SLT. In SLT, how we load data to target table using SLT jobs or using a data services job server, how we load data to target. A virtual table is different, that can access data on the fly, whereas SLT physically transfers data to SAP HANA. And data services physically transfer data to SAP HANA. In the same way, here we use DTP. Just like SLT job, initial job, data transfer job. In data services, we have job server to transfer data. The same way here we have DTP. DTP is an object which can transfer data from source to target. Is this okay now? So this is nothing but it can handle the content within the containers. Content is nothing but data. Whereas mapping of containers is done using transformation. Is this okay now? All the participants feel comfortable? Okay, so until now we completed the step number 1 to create an advanced DSO. We also completed step number 2 where you already have a data source ready. Now we need to execute step number 3. Step number 3 is to link source with target using transformation. Why would you want to link? Because you want to transfer data from data source to data target. In order to transfer data from here to here, we need to create a transformation. Okay, so let us go back. So what we'll do is, we will design this flow. We will design the entire flow. We will design the entire flow using data flow. So a data flow is an object wherein you can design the source to target. So let me go to the data flow. Let us go to the data flow. Let us right click on data store object. Let us click on explore data flow. Click on explore data flow. Once we click on explore data flow, now this is my target. So this target I need to link to the source. So let us select data source and drag and drop this data source onto the work area. So once you drag and drop to the work area, we need to give the data source name. Here I'll give the name as sales header. I'll double click on this data source, and here I'll associate the source system. What source system you want to associate? Click browse. So from where am I getting data? I'm getting data from EHP7. I'm getting this data from EHP7. So what is the purpose of a data flow? Why are we creating data flows? Because we want to link objects of source to target. So interlinking of objects can be done in creating of these data flows. Just like in data services, you remember we created a data flow. And in a data flow, we have taken source. We used to take case transform, merge transform, or data cleanse transform. So in data services, how we used to create data flows. Now that is for ETL. We're creating an ETL job there. But here we are creating modeling. So these are modeling flows. So here I'm creating a modeling flow, whereas in data services, we created an ETL flow. So I'm selecting source, click OK. So this is my source. Click on next. Now here is asking me copy from a data source, same source system only. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to copy the structure. We are copying the structure to this data source. Let us click next. And let us search for this data source called JED VBAK underscore J19. So this is my data source. So let us select this data source, click next. So here you have the name sales underscore HDR. And let us give the description. Sale order header data source type, use transaction data. Let us select the data source type as transactional data and click finish. So once you click finish, so I'm creating a new data source. Now this is the structure of the data source. Click on fields. Now these are different fields over here. You can find there are different fields here. Now we have to check and activate. Now once we check and activate, click on data flow. Now here the data source is ready. Now here you have ECC, my source system, and here we have data source. And here we have write optimized. So please see, this is what I wanted to create. So here you have data source. This is my source system and this is my target. So step number 3, to create a transformation. So how do I create transformation? So in order to create transformation, let us save this. Let us first save, click save. Now once we save, let us give a name for the data flow. I'm giving a name for a data flow. I'm creating a data flow for sales order. Header data. Let us give the description and click finish. I'm just trying to save this data flow. So now let us link this data source. Let's link this to target. Please see once I link. Now please see once I try to link here. You can see two additional objects that are automatically created by system. Please see once I link here. What system is doing here? Please see. It's creating two additional objects over here. Now this is called transformation, and this is called DTP. When you click on this, it says transformations. When you click on this, this is a DTP. So right click on the transformation, click on transformation. When you right click on the object, you have transformations over here, and click to create a transformation. You can create a transformation, so click on create transformation. So once you click on create transformation, once you click on create transformation, so what I'm trying to do, I'm executing step number 3. It'll take some time. So it is creating a GUI session. So basically it is creating a transformation. Shortly it will open up. So creating a transformation. So this is my target object and this is my source object. So this is the target and this is the source. And let us click continue. So once you click continue, once we click continue, so here you see transformations. Here we need to activate. So here you can see the data source, and here we can see the target. So this is my target, which is an advanced DSO. And click activate. Now once I activate and click continue, the transformation will get activated. Now once the transformation gets activated, let us go back. Now the transformation got activated here. So the source and target got interlinked. So interlinking of source and target is complete. Once you complete the activation process, you see it is active now. So let us go back, and here you can see there is something called DTP. Now in order to get data from ECC system to data target, let us right click on this object, click DTPs, and here you can create a new DTP. So let me click on create a DTP, data transfer process. So which step are we in now? So we completed step number 3 to create a transformation, and step number 4 is to create a DTP. So let us go back, right click on create DTP, click on create DTP. I think it needs a refresh. Let me refresh this one. It says no suitable source. So let me close this once. Let me close and reopen once again. It is not able to refresh. Let me open the data flow once again. Let's double click on data flow. So transformation is still not active. Transformation is still not active. Let me create. Yes, it's active now. Now it's active. So let us right click on. So basically here you have a refresh problem. So whenever you have a refresh problem, just click on this and click once again. So here you need to see a green color highlighting. So once you see this green color highlighting, it means transformation is active. Click on create DTP. So once you click on DTP, once you right click on this object, click DTP, create a DTP, select the data source, from which data source you want to access data. Select this data source and click OK. Now once you click OK, it is creating the DTP, data transfer process. Click continue, and finally click on activate. So click on activate, click execute, and click execute. So once you click execute, click yes, click refresh. So once we refresh, so here we will be able to see 15,339 records are transferred. So let us click on data flow. Now the advanced DSO is ready to be consumed in the user interface. So what happened here? 15,339 records are transferred. So in order to check this data, let us right click on this DSO. Here you have something called manage. So click on manage. Once you click on manage, here you can see these are the number of records that are loaded to this DSO. Now in order to check for data, what I can do, I can double click on this. DSO. Double click on the DSO. And here you have something called data preview. At the data preview, you have analytics list. Click on analytics list. And once you click on analytics list, here it is showing you the database preview. So here I can select distribution channels. My distribution channel. Business areas. Sales group. Sales office. Sales organization. So like this you can act. So now data is physically existing in these objects. So data is physically existing in these objects. So all the participants okay until here? All the participants okay, or you want me to repeat again? So should I repeat once again? For one last time, let me repeat once for one last time. So we are creating something called an advanced DSO, data store object. The first thing that we have done is we have created a DSO based on the source data source. Second, we created a data source. So we have a data source. In order to link the data source to the target, we created a transformation. Transformation is to link source and target. And step number 4, we created a DTP and execute the DTP. Now once you execute the DTP, data from ECC is transferred to this DSO. And finally, we check data in user interface. So quickly, I'll create another DSO. You see, I'll just create in 2 minutes. Let us right click on the DSO, click new, click on data store object advanced. Let us create a standard DSO. I'm creating another type of DSO called standard DSO. Now I'll take info provider. So info provider, I will take it as the old one, which we already created here. Get DSO underscore WRT. I'm taking my previous DSO as the structure. Get DSO underscore WRT. Click finish. So here let us select a standard DSO. Click apply template. Click on details pane. Now this is the target. I'm creating a standard DSO. Click activate. So here it is saying some issue here. So the issue here is on the NETWR. For NETWR, we need to select the aggregation type as sum. And activate. Key definition is missing. So it's asking the key definition is missing. So this is the key field. VBLN is my key field. So we're taking the sales document as a key. Click OK. Let me check once again. I'm activating this object. Now the object got activated. So just we need to maintain the keys here in the manage keys. So let us right click on this object and click explore data flow. So this is my target. And let us select the data source, drag and drop the data source. Let us right click. Let us double click on this object. So once you double click on the object, let us select the source system. My source system is ODP. Click OK. Click Next. So proposal from an operational data store. So I'm not copying this time. In the previous, I copied the data stores. Now I'm trying to propose. I'll not copy. So previously I used a copy. Now I'll go into propose. So propose an ODP ZVBAK underscore J19. So I'm going to propose this. Click Next. Data source type is transactional data. And click Finish. So once we click Finish, so it's already existing. So once we click Finish, now these are the columns, and click Activate. Once you activate, data source is ready. So my target and source is ready. Now we need to link source and target to create a transformation and execute the DTP. So let us go back. Now this is my source. I'll link to the DSO. It created a transformation. Let us right click transformations. Click on create transformation. Same steps. I'm doing the same step. It's creating a transformation. Click continue. Click activate. Click continue. I'm activating this. We're trying to activate the transformation. Once you activate, you can see this green color highlighting. Right click on this object, click DTP, create a DTP, select the data source, click OK. So DTP is an object that is used to transfer data from source to target. I'm creating a DTP. Click continue, and click activate. Click execute, and click yes. So once you click execute, click yes. Click refresh. Now here it is transferring data here. Click refresh. Now once the data is transferred, so here you have this something called target. Click on the administer data target. Once you click on the administer data target, so this is the request. So now this request need to be activated. Why we need to activate? Because see, not activated. So what is the importance of standard DSO? The importance of standard DSO is, in the starting of the session I tried to explain, in a standard DSO, you have data in the below table, which is known as activation queue table. This is an activation queue. Data is stored temporarily. This is just like a logging table in SAP. In SLT, this is just like a logging table. So from an activation queue, it has to enter to the active data table. So this is just like a logging table, and this is like a target table. So currently I have data in the activation queue. So from here it needs to transfer to target. So how can I get data from this table to this table in a standard DSO? How can I get this? I select the request, and here you need to click on activate. Now once you click on activate, now this is the request, and click activate. Now once you activate, then only you will see this record. Activation is starting. Click refresh. So here the process is finished. Source object store is activation queue. The source object is an activation queue table. From an activation queue table, it is going to activate. So you want to see the job, you can see this job. Click execute. The job is finished. The job is finished here. So once the job is complete, now where will you find data? In the target table. So once you go back, go to the data flow. Now finally, you can check data over here. In order to check data over here, click open. Once we click open, click here data preview, click on analytics list. Once we click on analytics list, so here we can see, let us click on distribution channels, divisions, sales organization. You want to filter data here based on different sales organizations. Let us right click on the sales organization, click select filter value. Here you can select what value you require. Let's say you want to show for sales organization 1000. Click OK. Or you want to filter for any other object. Filters, delete filters. So this is the data preview. So this is the flow. So we create two flows and finally activate the flow. Let us right click, click refresh. Z sales underscore header, standard DSO. Then creating a new data flow. The steps are same, everything is same. And finally activate this. So once you activate, so these are two data flows we created. One for standard, the other one for right optimized. So all the participants are okay until here. So what are the steps we follow? Step number 1, data source. Step number 2, create an advanced DSO. It could be right optimized, it could be standard. Create a transformation. Execute the DTP. Data is transferred, check data in the user interface. Now these objects that you can see here, what are the objects that we see here? Whether a standard object or right optimized, you can access these objects in the front end. Click Start, click All Programs, click on Business Intelligence, click on Business Objects Analysis, click on Analysis for Microsoft Excel. So what am I trying to do? I'm trying to access these objects in the front end. So once you access in the front end, click on Analysis, click Insert Data Source, click on Insert Data Source, click on Select Data Source, click Skip, double click on BW4HANA, and here you have info provider. So let us enter the object. So what was the object? ZDSO underscore WRT. Click search. So here you can see this object, click OK. So here you can see distribution channels, sales organizations. So I can access this in the front end. So where can I access them? I can access in analysis for Office. So with the analysis for Office, I can access these objects. So all the participants okay? So can we go to the next exercise? So should we go to the next exercise? All the participants okay? Can I go to the next one? So what is the, in an advanced DSO, there are basically two types. One is a standard DSO, the other one is write optimized DSO. So it's a standard DSO and a write optimized DSO. Based on the requirement, you can go for a standard DSO or you can go for a write optimized DSO. So when do you go for standard DSO? When you want to have faster access to data, when you want to read data faster. When do you go for write optimized DSO? When you want to write data faster into the system. So to write data faster, we go for write optimization. To read data faster, we go for standard DSO. Now these are the two types of DSOs in an advanced DSO. So Excel, now MS Office is one of the way to access data. MS Office is one way to access, but you also have other ways to access data. Like you can access in Lumira. You can access in Web Intelligence. You can access in Design Studio. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So InfoCube is same. InfoCube also is same, but InfoCube is basically for multi-dimensional object. It's based on star schema. InfoCube also is same, but it's also same. You want me to create InfoCube as well? All the participants would like to see InfoCube as well, or it's actually the same process. Process is same. Basically, it is same. Everything is same. There is no difference except applying the template. You see, all the difference that it makes over here is, I'll just show you. Click on the General tab. So everything is same. Just you need to select InfoCube and click Apply Template. If you select Standard, Apply Template. If you select Write Optimized, Apply Template. Select InfoCube, you need to apply template. So let us see the next object. Let us right click on the info area. So until now what we completed info objects, we completed open ODS view, we completed info area, we completed composite provider, we completed data store object advanced, We completed data flow. And then here you have something called Open Hub Destination. So what is an Open Hub Destination? So can we take a 5 minutes break and start this one? All the participants okay if I can take 5 minutes break and we can start? I will take a 5 minutes break and then we'll come back. Thank you. I'm back. Okay, so let us see what is Open Hub destination. Now, what is the use of Open Hub destination? The use of Open Hub destination is to distribute data from BW4HANA to external systems. So BW4HANA is a source, and here external systems are target. So we can distribute data from this system to target systems. Now, target system can be in the form of a table. It can be in the form of files. So in order to distribute data to upstream systems, you want to distribute data to upstream system, we can use Open Hub destination. So after you use on the BW4HANA, you want to send to other systems. You can store this data in a table. We can store data in CSV files, or you can connect to a third-party system. We also have an option to connect to third-party system. So Open Hub destination. So using an Open Hub destination. So this is my source. BW4HANA is the source. The target can be a table. It can be a file, or it can be a third-party system. So let us go back. Let's click on New. Let us right click on the project, click New, and click on Open Hub destination. So let us give the name. Let us give the description. So in the destination type here you have the destination type. In the destination type you have so these are the destination types. We can use a database table, file, or a third-party tool. So how can we send data to target tables, files, or third-party tools? So let us go back. So this is get sales underscore OHD. Now if you want to take from an info provider, for example, I would like to take from DSO underscore STD, standard DSO underscore STD. I would like to use as my source. This one I would like to use as my source. And click Finish. And so here, get sales underscore O1, click Finish. Once I click Finish, so this is the database table. So this is my database table to which it is going to write data. Click on Details pane. So for this is what it is going to write data for these objects. Click on Validate and click Activate. So once you click Activate, Open Up Destination is created. So target is created. But in order to send data to the target, we need to create a flow. So this is the target. Open Up Destination is the target. So in order to create a flow, let us right click on this object and click Explore Data Flow. Click on Explore Data Flow. So once you click on Explore Data Flow, select data source, drag and drop the data source onto work area, and here we need to give data source name, and link this data source to Open Hub Destination. Same procedure. Now instead of an advanced DSO, I'm taking an Open Hub Destination. Right click on this, same, create transformation. I'm creating a transformation. Click object type as data source. Provide the source system. What is my source system in this case? I'm sorry. Object type is not data source. Yeah. I was taking my object type was info provider. I'm sorry. It was info provider. I need to select info provider, which is an advanced DSO. It was not a data source. I was actually taking a data store object advanced. So let me give the name DSO underscore std and click continue. So once I click continue, now this is my source. My source is a DSO object. And my target is Open Hub Destination. So this is my target and this is my source. Let us activate. Click on Activate. Let us go back. So here I don't require a data source, so I'll just delete this. I don't require this data source because I'm using a DSO as my source and my Open Hub Destination as my target. Right click on the Open Hub Destination, click DTP and click on Create DTP. Let us select the source. What is my source here? Advanced DSO is my source. So I would like to populate data from source and this is my target. My source here, this is a source and this is my target. Target is database table. What is the technical name of the database table? So let us select this DSO, click OK. I'm creating a DTP, click continue and let us click activate. So once we activate, DTP is activated, click execute and finally click on execute. So once you execute, now data will be transferred to the target table. Click yes. So these are the number of records transferred. So this is my target table. So where can I check this target table? Let us go to the HANA Studio. To check the target table, let us go back to the Open Hub Destination. Click on the General tab. Now here you can see the database table. Click on the database table. So this is the target table. So this is the target table for open hub destination, jet sales underscore O1. So this is where data is transferred. Click on contents to check the table contents and click on execute. And finally here we can see the data in the target table. Now if you want to check this data on the HANA system, you want to check the same table on the HANA, let us go to the HANA modeler. Let us expand HDB, expand the catalog. Under catalog, you have a schema called SAP ABAP 2 schema. SAP ABAP 2. Expand SAP ABAP 2 schema. Right click on tables. Click on filter. Copy paste the table name. Click whole word. Click OK. Expand the tables. Here we can see the table that is created on the HANA system. Right click on the table and click Open Data Preview. Now here is the data exported. Click on Analysis. Drag and drop VKORG and NETWR. So I'm trying to export data from BW related objects to from BW HANA to the target table. I can export to target table. So Open Hub Destination is especially used in a scenario when you want to move transformed data which is transformed. You want to move either to a database table, you want to move to a file, or you want to move to a third-party tool. We can use Open Hub Destination to move data from source to target. So how do you know whether this table is created in SAP ABAP 2? How do you know whether this table is available in ABAP 2? Because, please see, how do you know this table is in ABAP 2? If you click on Menu, if you click on Systems, if you click on Status, on the Status tab, please see, the owner is nothing but the name of the schema, which is an SAP ABAP 2. So here is the schema and here is the owner. So whatever the tables that are created for BW4HANA, all the tables are created in the schema. That's why I directly go to the schema and check the table over here. So basically it is already indicated in the application layer that whatever the tables that are created for BW4HANA, directly land them in SAP ABAP 2 schema. Already there is a configuration. So meaning of owner is nothing but the name of the schema. So you remember when we are working on data services, we used to specify the owner. What is the schema in which this table should be created? When I used to select MS SQL, we used to select DBO. For SAP HANA, the owner should be best. So in the same way, here the owner means where these underlying tables are residing. So can we go to the next one? So let us go to the next one. So we created data flows, composite providers, open ODS views, queries, data store objects advanced, characteristics, unit of measure characteristics, open hub destination, and right click on this. Now we'll see the next object, which is info source. So in this screen, there are two other objects that are pending. One is an info source, and the other one is semantic groups. So the rest we covered: info objects, open ODS view, info area, composite providers, data store objects, open hub destination, data flow. So let us see what is an info source. Info source is an object. Info source is a semantic layer. You can connect one source to multiple target objects. For example, let me give an example. Let me try to give an example. So suppose say you have a data source here. We have a data source. Now what I can do, one data source I can interlink, I can link this to target. So what I can do with an info source, I can create one info source in between. I can create an info source. Info source is a semantic layer. It's basically a semantic layer. So from this semantic layer, I can create different targets. For example, let's say you have 10 columns over here. I can use 5 columns in this target. I can use 4 columns in this target. I can use 6 columns in this target. So info source will have all the columns. In order to link one data source to an info source, we require one transformation. In order to link 3 targets, we require 3 transformations. So one transformation for each object. So a transformation is an object that links the info source to target. Transformation 1, transformation 2, and transformation 3. In each transformation, you can write a rule specific to that particular object. For example, in here you would like to send all the company code related 1000 data. In here you would like to send all the 3000 related company code. In here you would like to send all 6000 related company code data. So you can distribute data to multiple targets. One data source can link to one info source, and one info source can link to multiple target objects. Is this okay? All the participants feel comfortable? So basically, it is nothing but a semantic layer. A semantic layer is nothing but a virtual layer. Info source, there is no data. It doesn't hold any data. It only has the metadata. So basically, info source, no data is present inside this object. You may have n number of columns, but you can only take required columns to the target location. So normally, if you want to do this exercise, how many data flows should I create? How many data sources I require? If I want 3 targets, then how many data sources I require? So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to unify. I'm trying to consolidate using one info source. So what is the use with info source and without info source? With info source, I can have a common layer. So info source is basically a common layer from where it can request objects. So from one info source, I can create 3 transformations. So let us see an exercise. So let me show you an exercise for this. I think some of the participants, I'll try to take one more example. Let me take another example. Let's say you have multiple layers of transformations. For example, you have one layer of transformation, and then you have another layer of transformations. So this is the first layer, and this is the second layer. In between, you can have an info source. So transformation to an info source to another transformation. Now, without an info source, what will happen? You have a data source, and you have a target. So how many transformations you have in this case? We only have one transformation. So this is another scenario. So this is the data target, and this is data source. You have transformation, only one transformation. So here you have data target, transformation number 1, info source, transformation number 2, and data source. So what difference can we make out with and without info source in this case? So if you have an info source, you can have 2 levels of transformations. So here you have one level of transformation, and here you have another level of transformation. But without info source, here you only have one level of transformation. So this is another example with and without info source. Is this okay? Is this example okay? So let us see. So let us see how to create this. Let us see an example. Let us right click on the info area, click new, click on info source. I'm creating a new info source. I'll take it as is underscore sales. Select data source, click browse, select the source system, click OK. Let us select the data source. Click OK and click finish. So once you click finish, click on details. So here I'm creating an info source based on all these objects. Let us add key. Let us click on manage keys. I'll select VBLN as a key. Pay VBLN as a key. And let us click activate. Once we activate, let us right click on BW4HANA and click refresh. Once we refresh, here we can see info source. Let us right click on the info source. Click on transformation. So we're linking info source to a data source. So source type of transformation I'm linking to a data source. I'll select the source system. Let me select the source system. And let us select the data source. ZVBAK underscore J19. And click continue. 1 minute. Let us double click on the info source. Let us activate this object. Check and activate. Let us right click, explore data flow. So here you have one info source. Let us select data source. And let me select three targets. OpenODS view, OpenODS view, and OpenODS view. So this is the first target. Okay. So I'll link this. First what I'll do, I'll link the data source to info source. I'll link info source to OpenODS view and another OpenODS view and another OpenODS view. So here I'm not having transformations because OpenODS view can access data on the fly. For example, let me take an advanced DSO. I'll take one OpenODS view and I'll take two advanced DSOs. DSO1. I'll remove this and I'll take another advanced DSO. I'll take DSO2. So info source are linked to the DSO1 and info source are linked to the DSO2. And here let us double click on the OpenODS view. Let us give the name for this. Sales1. Facts. Data source. Next. Jed BBAK underscore June 19, J19. Click next and finish. So I'm creating one OpenODS view in the target. So here one is created here. So in this case, what I have to do is we need to link to this. We need to link to the info source. So let me double click on the transformation. Let us right click on the info source transformations. Probably what I'll do is we will do it in the next session. I'll try to do in the next session. So we'll take up the info source again in the next session. So we'll take up in the next session. I'll try to create some data before itself, and we'll see more appropriate scenario. I'll try to show you more appropriate scenario in the next week. So all the participants feel comfortable until here. So hope all the participants feel comfortable until here. Also, I uploaded all the assignments. So coming to the assignments, let us open the assignments. So if you go to the set 2 materials, the set 2 as we discussed yesterday, I uploaded a new material for BW4HANA. If you go to SAP HANA materials, here you have something called SAP 462 BW4HANA. And now if you come back, double click on set 2 materials. Under set 2 you have set 2 assignments, BW4HANA. So here we created the assignments here. So I'm going to create more assignments based on advanced DSO, based on Open Hub destination, I'll also make assignments ready for InfoSource, HANA optimized BA content, data flows, DTPs, transformations, semantic groups. So I'll create all these new assignments based on the new material provided by SAP, which is 462 BW4HANA. I'll create them and I'll update this assignment folder. So until now we have composite providers, info objects, replicating ECC data sources to BW4HANA, mixed modeling scenarios. I'll also discuss a scenario based on HANA Live. HANA Live is a standard solution provided by SAP. So we'll also discuss about HANA Live. So basically you can do composite provider. We can do open ODS views. We can work on replicating data sources from ECC to BW. Also, we can work on accessing HANA tables to BW4HANA. So basically, if you go to the book, so where you have to refer to this, so you have to refer, so like how we have S4 HANA, like that we have BW4 HANA here, book number 5 in set 1, HANA materials. So once we complete this, then we go to HANA Live. The next topic would be HANA Live after we complete BW4 HANA. So thank you, everyone. Have a very good morning and a good night, everyone. Thank you.